Fuego! Fuego! The Los Angeles Rams are fuego. My Rams. Your Rams. Good win in Philadelphia against the Eagles, obviously. Man, what an effort. Final score 37-19. It was a complete effort. Our lone kind of fuck up was on special teams on a punt return. Mr. Reliable himself, Cooper Kupp, did have a fumble. It is what it is. It's going to happen, but we rebounded. Quicksand. We did not fall into quicksand. If you've ever seen the replacements with Keanu Reeves, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, here are your offensive stats. Jared Goff looked amazing today. Looked like a real team captain. Looked like a real leader. And he played like one. 20 for 27, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the first half, he damn near went 15 for 15. But he fell just short, 13 for 15. Hey, I ain't mad at it. Cam Akers, our first draft pick of this past year. I believe we took him with around the 54th pick. He did go down with an injury. A lot of people got injured today. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, amongst others. Cam Akers went down, rib injury. I believe it was, we were either in the red zone or just on the edge of the red zone. Fell awkwardly. It was either on the ball or on another player, but it was a rib injury. So he was out for the remainder of the game. But in his stead, in his absence, was Malcolm Brown, who gave a solid effort. 11 of 14 carries for about 47 rushing yards. But we really want to give a shine to Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson, who didn't see the field much last week against the Dallas Cowboys. He was recovering from an injury. No, so we won't hold that against him. Obviously not. But he came in this week and balled. 12 carries, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, his first career touchdown, and a big-time 28-yard reception to take the Rams into the red zone on the goal line that set up his own score. Awesome effort. It would seem that our running back by committee game plan style, new offensive look, is working. I ain't mad at it. We also got to give another shout out to the former Hilltopper, now the king of the hill, Mr. Hat Trick himself, Tyler Higbee. If you listen to our me and Marco's The Closers Podcast NFL preview, you've heard us speak the praises of Tyler Higbee. He's set for a big year. 5 receptions, 54 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's the hat trick. He balled. He was also making some excellent key blocks. And while we're talking about key blocks, we got to talk about that offensive line playing with the same nastiness, tenacity, and unity that we saw last week. It's carrying over. This is a great fucking sign. Now, we did have Joseph Noteboom go down. He was replaced by, I believe his name is David Edwards. But it didn't slow us down all too much. So it really shows that we have depth at that offensive line. A lot of the guys who are starting on the offensive line this year were injured last year, talking about Rob Havenstein and company. So those guys who started last year got the PT where they can come in off the pine and contribute. Excellent offensive effort. While we're talking about blocking, we got to give a shout out to Robert Woods. My man just got paid 4-year extension, and he's out here making lead blocks on sweeps like he's a fullback. Shout out to you, Bobby Trees. You're a fucking gangster. While we're talking about the game, let's switch to the defense. Real good effort. Better than last week. One thing I saw that isn't troublesome, but it is something that we need to keep an eye on, is our run defense. Zeke last week, Zeke's going to be Zeke. It is what it is. Miles Sanders this week had 95 rushing yards, and he was averaging 4.8 yards a carry. That's damn near half the first down. That's something we want to keep our eye on, something we want to, reduce. and I'm sure the coaching staff knows that, and they will address it properly. This week, I was a little surprised to see us not record a single sack, considering that the Washington Football Club had 8 sacks last week on the Philadelphia Eagles. We didn't get one this week, so we'd like to finish our pass rush, finish with a sack. It will come. We have too much talent on our defensive front. Michael Brockers, Aaron Donald, best player of the last 10 years. Leonard Floyd's coming along pretty good. Sebastian Joseph Day, rocking the 6'9". I see you, big man. Want to give a look and a props to Micah Kiser, inside linebacker. He didn't play at a lick last season. He was out for the season. He was injured. These last 2 weeks, he's absolutely balled, leading and tackling, sideline to sideline. It was hard to find a defensive play and not see Micah Kiser involved. That's what I like to see, especially considering that we lost Corey Littleton, who was a tackling machine, a beast last year. We lost him to the Las Vegas Raiders. Micah Kiser stepping up. Also on defense, we got to show love. 2 interceptions, 2 big time interceptions. Troy Hill had a real dope interception that kept us that turned the ball around in Eagles territory, so we were able to get a quick score off that. But especially want to shout out Darius Williams, who got the INT in the end zone, prevented a touchdown. Come on, that's beautiful stuff there. Rams secondary is looking good. I think we kind of have an unsung an unsung secondary. Josh Johnson, one of the better safeties in the league. Jordan Fuller's coming on as a rookie. I mean, I know I'm biased, but in my eyes, he's making a case for defensive rookie of the year. Now, it's going to be difficult when you got bad motherfuckers like Chase Young out there. Jordan Fuller's playing his ass off when we see him. Jalen Ramsey, didn't hear much from Jalen Ramsey this week. That's a good thing. We don't want to hear our corner's name called unless it's an INT. But the rest of the secondary, Troy Hill, Darius Williams, stepping up, making big plays and big moments, and helping us get a win back for the Golden State. Best state in the Union, California. Better fucking believe it. On Saturday, which was Batman Day, so shout out to the Dark Knight. There was also a UFC Fight Night card. Colby Covington, controversial as he is, we can't deny he's a bad motherfucker. That dude puts a pace and a volume on people that they cannot handle, that they cannot respond to. And Tyrone Woodley, former UFC welterweight champion, couldn't answer it. It was a sink or swim moment for Tyrone Woodley. He had previously lost to Kamaru Usman. That's when he lost the belt. Then he lost to Gilbert Burns rather recently. And he takes Colby Covington on what is kind of a quick turnaround. If you would have told me that Tyrone Woodley was going to fight, 2-3 times in a year, I would have, I don't know. It's not something that would have came to the forefront of my mind. And he's dropped 3 in a row. Man, he had no answer for Colby. It looked like there were moments when Tyron really wanted to get off and string together some combinations, but the forward pressure of Colby wouldn't allow him to do that. Tyron was consistently, as he has been for some time now, with his back along the fence in the danger zone. And what do you know? Colby Covington got a 4th round finish. It was a weird finish. It wasn't exactly, your ground and pound TKO finish. But what did happen is Tyron was in guard. Colby was working from top, and there was either an extension or some sort of movement, just nasty pressure from the top from Colby Covington, cracked one of Woodley's ribs. Immediately, Woodley vocally tapped pretty much. They rolled it as a TKO, but it was pretty much a vocal tap. Then Colby gets on the mic. He shouts out President Trump. Calls Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. Says you can expect a Republican landslide victory on November 3rd. I don't know about all that, But what I do know is that Colby Covington, man, he is right back in the mix. Now, Dana White that is, has said that Kamaru Usman's next fight will be against Gilbert Burns. And, I'm not going to argue with it. But if Colby Covington were to leapfrog Gilbert Burns, and they were to run that back, oh, man. That would be the shit. The kitty's titties. The first fight between Usman and Covington is one of the best fights of not all time, of certainly the last year, 2 years. Absolute banger. Two pressure wrestlers who neutralized each other and just stood and traded. Usman ended up breaking Colby's jaw in the 5th round. Or no, broke it in the 4th and then finished him in the 5th. I don't know if it will go the same way again, but I definitely want to see it. The biggest winner of UFC Fight Night, maybe of this weekend, is Khamzat Chimaev, a Swedish wrestler. Trains out of the same gym as Alexander Gustafsson. If you know UFC, then you know who Alexander is. Swedish by way of Russia. This dude is for real. Currently holds the record. 3 victories in 66 days. That is insane. And he faced a real step up in competition this Saturday when he fought Gerald Meerschaert, who is a black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt. And Khamzat smoked him 17 seconds. First strike he threw. 1-punch KO. Holy shit. And he's already double booked. He's supposed to be fighting Damian Maia in a couple weeks. But who knows? This fool could turn around and fight on Fight Island. Now, I don't expect him to fight on the Adesanya Costa card, but shit. Maybe on the Khabib Gaethje one? Better believe it. And I say book it. That dude is for real. Dana's saying he's special. That he hasn't encountered another fighter like him. I don't know about all that. He's only 3 wins. Against the back half of the division, welterweight and middleweight. But if he goes in there against a guy like Damian Maia, legendary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, former title contender at middleweight and welterweight, come on. Now that's a real test. But that was this weekend in sports. Besides that, I just been chilling. If I got one gripe about anything, it's a minor one. I go to Subway about twice a week. Twice a week I go to Subway. But I always get the same thing. I'm not the kind of, I don't like change. I know, I'm not a switch hitter. I stay consistent. I'm a traditionalist, so to speak, especially when it comes to food, especially when it comes to fast food. So this pisses me off so goddamn much. Every time I go to Subway, I get the same thing. A cold cut foot long on Italian bread. And every fucking time I say, I'd like a cold cut on Italian bread, their immediate response is heated or toasted. What? Word? Is that your question? Why would I order a cold cut to just get it heated or toasted? If I wanted fucking hot meat between buns, I'd get a hot dog. It's infuriating to me. It's a minor quibble. To you it might seem trivial, but to me it drives me fucking insane. And that's my tidbit of the week. I do want to plug real quick on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, We'll have a new episode of the Closers Podcast coming out with an old friend of mine, Kevin Pierce. I wish I had a cooler nickname for him, but you don't meet a lot of guys named Kevin or Keith with cool nicknames. You don't meet a lot of cool Kevin or Keiths, but I assure you, this Kevin is the coolest. He's an old friend of mine. We used to live together at Western Kentucky University in the PFT, Pierce Ford Tower, I believe it was called, the 26th floor, corner pocket. I'm sure he'll have some stories that he can refresh my memory on, because truth be told, I can't remember hardly anything from 2012. But it should be a good time, so look out for that. As always, you can follow us on YouTube, The Closers Podcast, Instagram, at The Closers Podcast. You could follow myself at Quintessential39. You could follow my cohort, Marco. Yeah, we'll just say yeah. Search Marco Alvarado. I don't really feel like looking it up, and it's hot. It's humid as fuck. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys this week. As always, stay smart, stay safe, and God bless. And I will see you guys next Monday.